how do you typically think about sleep? Is it a luxury you barely have time for, maybe a necessary evil?
Or just an inconvenient interruption to your demanding life?
Exactly. Most of us have been there, right? Pushing through on less sleep, thinking we can just conquer the world anyway.
Yeah.
But what if sleep is far more than just downtime? What if it's this incredibly active, vital process that's, fundamentally shaping your capacity to learn, regulate emotions, and, well, really thrive?
It's a really widespread misconception that sleep is passive. What's truly fascinating is how the latest research, cutting-edge stuff, consistently reveals it to be one of the most productive things your brain actually does every single day.
Absolutely. So our mission today on The Deep Dive is to unravel the intricate science behind sleep. We're drawing from that research to show how it profoundly impacts your brain, your body, and your daily performance.
And it's not just about clocking enough hours, is it?
No, not at all. It's about understanding what happens when you sleep, how things like light sculpt it, and why prioritizing specific sleep stages is, well, it's a shortcut to being truly well-informed and performing at your best.
Right. We'll be covering some diverse territory today. Everything from the brain's nightly reset for learning to the powerful role light plays in orchestrating our sleep and even our mood.
Interesting.
We'll also dive into the intriguing and often misunderstood world of polyphasic sleep, tackle common disruptions like sleep paralysis, and uncover the surprising emotional work our dreams do for us.
Okay, sounds like a packed agenda.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that first crucial revelation. Deep sleep isn't just passive rest. It's an incredibly active, essential process for literally restoring your brain's efficiency.
Especially in areas that have been working hard all day.
Right.
That's right. The core idea, the hypothesis here, is that during wakefulness, our brain sees this progressive increase in synaptic strength.
Okay, so connections getting stronger.
Exactly. Imagine your brain's network constantly strengthening connections with every new experience. If that just kept going indefinitely,
it would overload.
It would effectively saturate your brain's ability to adapt.
Yeah.
Your brain would become insensitive to new inputs, unable to learn more, and it would just consume unsustainable amounts of energy.
So deep, non-rapid eye movement sleep, NREM sleep, is essentially the brain's reset button, kind of preventing cognitive burnout.
Precisely. During deep NREM sleep, the brain actively works to downregulate synaptic strength. It's hitting reset. This process not only helps clear out metabolic junk that builds up during the day, but it also restores the brain's delicate balance, making sure it's primed and ready to absorb new information the next day.
Okay, and how do scientists actually see this happening, this vital repair process?
Well, this restorative work is marked by what we call slow waves. These are distinct, low-frequency electrical patterns in your brain, easily picked up with an EEG.
Like the brain breathing deeply.
Kind of, yeah. Think of them as the brain's deep, rhythmic breathing during its repair cycle. These slow waves are usually strongest right after you fall asleep.
When you need it most.
Exactly, when sleep need is highest. And they gradually lessen as the night goes on and restoration happens.
But linking these waves directly to restoration, that was tricky.
For a long time, the evidence was mostly correlational. We saw the waves, we saw the benefits, but proving cause and effect in humans, that was the challenge.
So how did they manage to actually test this to get that causal link?
They did this really clever human study. 13 volunteers, they had them do a finger-tapping motor sequence task over 2 days.
Okay, a learning task.
Right. And the researchers used a novel real-time approach. They used closed-loop acoustic stimulation.
Sounds complicated.
It's basically tiny, precisely timed sound cues. They aimed these sounds specifically at the slow waves happening in the primary motor cortex, the M1 region, during one sleep session.
So they could target just that one area.
Exactly. This non-invasive method caused a very specific 12-13% local reduction in slow wave activity only in that motor cortex area. The rest of the brain's sleep architecture, largely unaffected.
Wow. So they could selectively disrupt deep sleep just in the part of the brain handling that motor learning. What happened? What was the impact on performance the next morning?
Behaviorally, it was interesting. Even if the overall score wasn't drastically lower, the disruption led to a significant increase in tapping variability. Meaning their motor execution was less efficient, less precise. They could still do the task, but it took noticeably more effort, less fluidity. It wasn't as smooth.
Okay, so performance dipped. And what about on a deeper level? Brain plasticity, our ability to adapt and learn.
Well, normal, unperturbed sleep restored the brain's capacity for what we call synaptic potentiation. It's essentially the ability for brain cell connections to strengthen. Think of it like building durable learning pathways, vital for new knowledge.
Got it.
But when those slow waves were disrupted in the motor cortex, that restorative process was significantly weakened. Markedly attenuated, as the study put it.
So the brain's ability to form and strengthen those crucial connections, to learn efficiently, was clearly hindered.
Yes.
So what's the actionable insight here for us? What should we take away?
This study provides causal evidence. That's the key. Deep sleep is a genuine requirement for maintaining sustainable learning efficiency.
Right.
Think about how this applies to your own day. Learning new skills, processing information. Your brain literally needs this nightly reset to stay sharp, adaptable, and perform efficiently without burning out.
So skipping deep sleep isn't just about feeling tired.
No, it's actively hobbling your brain's ability to learn and perform precisely.
That's truly incredible. It really makes you realize how much vital work our brain is doing, even when we're, just sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But our sleep isn't just an internal thing. It's profoundly shaped by the world around us, especially by something we interact with constantly. Light.
Yes,
Yeah.
light.
So this next segment is all about how light is the most powerful Zeitgeber or time giver for our internal body clock.
Yeah.
It deeply influences not just sleep and wakefulness, but our mood too.
It's an undeniable truth. At the heart of this system is the suprachiasmatic nuclei, the SCN. It's this tiny structure in the hypothalamus.
Our master clock.
Pretty much, yeah, our central master clock. It synchronizes all our internal biological rhythms with the natural 24-hour light-dark cycle, and it gets direct light info straight from the retina.
Now, like you said, not all light is created equal, right? The light from my phone screen feels very different from bright morning sunlight.
Exactly. Visible light that's wavelengths from 380 to 780 nanometers, it varies drastically in intensity. 100,000 lux in direct sunlight versus maybe 500 lux in a typical office.
Big difference.
Huge. And maybe more critically, artificial light, even if it looks white, often has a very different spectral recipe.
We need the mix of colors.
Yeah, the mix of wavelengths. And these differences, even if they seem subtle to our eyes, can have really distinct impacts on our biological clock. There are actually new standards now from the CIE, the International Commission on Illumination, to quantify these non-visual effects of light.
Okay, so how does light specifically mess with or help our sleep cycles?
It has a dual impact, really. First, light acutely suppresses melatonin.
The sleep hormone.
The sleep-facilitating hormone, yeah. Our body produces it during the biological night. Light puts the brakes on that.
Okay.
Second, and maybe even more importantly, the timing of light exposure directly shifts your circadian clock.
How so?
Morning light advances the clock. It basically tells your body, okay, start the day earlier. While evening and night light delays the clock, pushing your natural bedtime and wake time later.
The dreaded phone effect.
Exactly. This whole process is described by what scientists call the phase response curve.
So getting out for some sunshine in the morning really is important for sleep later on.
Yeah. Hugely beneficial. High-intensity natural daylight can actually advance the timing of sleep to earlier hours, can affect sleep duration, and significantly improve sleep quality.
Wow.
One study even found that each extra hour spent outdoors advanced sleep onset by about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah. It also helps you accumulate more slow-wave sleep, that deep restorative sleep we talked about, and helps you fall asleep faster.
And predictably, my evening screen time, not so good.
Unfortunately, no. Exposure to short wavelength light, often called blue light in the evening, can decrease that vital slow wave activity.
Leading to
shallower sleep and increasing the chances you'll wake up during the night. Smartphone use before bed is directly linked to decreased sleep efficiency, taking longer to fall asleep, and just overall poor sleep quality.
Okay, makes sense. Now, beyond sleep, I've heard light can also deeply affect our mood.
Mm-hmm.
Is that connection strong?
Absolutely. Light directly modulates crucial neurotransmitters like serotonin, which is vital for mood regulation.
Mm.
And by stabilizing our circadian rhythms, it also helps address issues common in mental disorders where these rhythms are often, thrown off kilter.
So light therapy is actually a real and effective treatment then?
Oh, yes. It's a very established and powerful intervention. Bright light therapy, or BLT, has been a first-line treatment for seasonal affective disorder, SAD, since the 80s.
Wow, since 1984.
Yeah, and it often brings relief quite quickly, sometimes in just a few days. It's also an effective second-line treatment for non-seasonal depression.
How long does that take?
It typically takes a bit longer, maybe 2 to 5 weeks to see effects, and it often works well to accelerate improvement when used alongside SSRIs.
Interesting.
And interestingly, even something as simple as a regular 1-hour morning walk can be similarly effective for your mental well-being, getting that natural light exposure.
That's incredible. And it's not just for depression, right? It helps with other things too.
Yes, its applications are quite broad. Beyond SAD and non-seasonal depression, BLT shows promise in managing sleep-wake disturbances in conditions like dementia, ADHD, even in intensive care units where natural light is often really limited.
Right.
It's also commonly used for circadian rhythm disorders like jet lag or shift work disorder.
So for the listener, what's the practical takeaway? How intense does this light need to be?
Yeah, good question. The most pronounced antidepressant effect usually comes from early morning administration. We're talking 30-60 minutes using a bright light source around 7,000 to 10,000 lux.
Legit.
That's roughly the intensity of a very bright, overcast day, much stronger than your typical indoor lighting.
Okay. Any side effects?
Adverse reactions like eye irritation or maybe a mild headache are rare, and they usually lessen quickly. But of course, precautions are needed if you have certain eye conditions or taking photosensitizing drugs. But the bottom line is, this is powerful knowledge for you. Simply adjusting your light exposure can be a non-invasive, really effective way to enhance your sleep, sync up your body clock, and positively impact your mood and mental health.
Okay, so we've optimized our environment with light. Now, what about optimizing our actual patterns of sleep? Let's explore some unconventional approaches like polyphasic sleep, and then maybe tackle a common disruption, sleep paralysis.
All right, polyphasic sleep. The idea of sleeping in multiple short bursts throughout a 24-hour period. It's incredibly compelling, isn't it?
Totally. It promises more waking hours for productivity, hobbies, whatever.
Exactly.
We've all heard the stories, right? Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Edison, supposedly masters of polyphasic sleep, getting more time for their genius. But then you hear about Albert Einstein, who reportedly slept 10 hours a day. So what's the real story? Does this stuff actually work?
Well, the anecdotal allure is definitely strong, but the scientific reality is often quite different. There was this interesting 6-month self-experiment study published looking at the impact of 3 polyphasic schedules.
Which ones?
They tested Uberman, Everyman, and Dymaction.
Okay, can you quickly break those down for us?
Sure. The Uberman schedule is pretty extreme. 6 to 8 20-minute naps totaling just 2-3 hours of sleep per day.
Wow, that's intense.
Very. Dymaction is similar, 4 30-minute naps, also around 2 hours total sleep. Everyman is a bit more moderate. A 3-hour core sleep at night, plus 3 20-minute naps. That brings total sleep to about 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, and they tracked how people did.
Yeah, they monitored cognitive performance using brain training apps, mood with daily self-reports, and physical health stuff like energy levels, immune function, even heart rate variability.
So what happened with those really intense schedules, Uberman and Dymaction? Did they unlock superhuman productivity?
Quite the opposite, actually. For Uberman and Dymaction, the first 2 weeks of adaptation were described as really bad.
How bad?
Participants saw a significant 25-30% decline in reaction time and memory recall. And what's crucial here is that cognitive function never fully recovered to their pre-experiment baseline levels.
Never recovered. Yikes.
Yeah. And the physical and emotional toll was severe. Chronic fatigue energy levels, often rated 3 or 4 out of 10, elevated stress, irritability, getting sick more often due to impaired immune function, and a key finding, a total unavailability of deep sleep.
Oof. That sounds like a really steep price for maybe a few extra waking hours. What about the more moderate Everyman schedule?
That one seemed a bit better. The Everyman schedule had a much lesser adaptation period. Cognitive performance actually normalized within about 3 weeks.
Okay.
It appeared to be the best of the 3 they tested. It allowed for some core deep sleep, which seemed to help with emotional and physical recovery. Moods were more stable, stress scores lower.
Any reported benefits?
The participant actually reported some improved productivity, alertness, and focus. They found the short naps allowed for several mental breaks between work.
So moderate polyphasic might offer some benefits for some people, but the extreme versions are probably a bad idea for most.
That seems to be the key takeaway. The study really highlighted the significant difficulties faced while adjusting phases, the social and lifestyle incompatibility. I mean, it's hard to live like that in a world built around monophasic sleep.
True.
And there's a concerning lack of long-term scientific data on the health impacts. It also mentioned that maybe polyphasic sleep only really works for people with specific genetic predispositions.
Right.
So for you listening, the promise of more waking hours is tempting, but the evidence strongly suggests extreme polyphasic sleep comes at significant cognitive, physical, and emotional costs, primarily due to chronic sleep deprivation and that critical lack of deep sleep. Moderate schedules might offer limited benefits for some, but the importance of core, restorative sleep seems paramount.
Okay, good to know. Switching gears a bit now, let's talk about something else many people have experienced, and it can be quite terrifying. Sleep paralysis.
Ah, yes, sleep paralysis. It's an interesting and often unsettling phenomenon. Basically, a temporary inability to move or speak, either when you're falling asleep or waking up.
How long does it last?
Usually seconds to minutes, and it's often accompanied by a feeling of pressure on the chest, difficulty breathing, or even vivid hallucinations.
Sounds awful. Is it dangerous?
It can feel very distressing, absolutely, but it's generally harmless physiologically.
So what's actually happening in our brain and body when this occurs? Why can't we move?
Well, during REM sleep, the stage where we typically dream vividly, your brain actively inhibits voluntary muscle activity. It's called REM atonia.
To stop us acting out dreams.
Exactly. Sleep paralysis happens when this muscle inhibition mechanism can persist even when a person is awake or in the process of waking up. Your mind wakes up, but your body's motor system hasn't quite gotten the memo yet.
Okay. What kind of things make someone more likely to experience it?
Poor sleep hygiene is a big one.
Right.
Also sleep deprivation, irregular sleep patterns. These are common culprits.
Makes sense.
Other sleep disorders like narcolepsy, insomnia, or sleep apnea can also increase the risk. High levels of stress and anxiety are definitely significant factors too. And interestingly, for some people, sleeping on the back seems to be linked to a higher chance of it happening.
And the symptoms, they sound pretty intense, beyond just not being able to move.
Absolutely. Beyond the immobility and speechlessness, people often report vivid hallucinations, seeing things, hearing things, feeling things.
Like what?
Like seeing shadowy figures, hearing voices, or feeling a presence in the room. This naturally leads to intense fear and anxiety during the episode.
Understandably. So if someone experiences this, what can they actually do to manage it or maybe prevent it?
The good news is there are clear management strategies. Improving sleep hygiene is really key.
Like we'll talk about later.
Exactly. Consistent schedule, restful environment, aiming for that 7 to 9 hours. Managing stress is also important. Relaxation techniques like mindfulness or meditation can help. Adjusting your sleep position, maybe trying not to sleep on your back if that seems to be a trigger for you. And of course, if episodes are frequent or really impacting your quality of life, it's important to consult a healthcare professional.
Right.
But just understanding what it is, demystifying it, can really help reduce the fear if it happens and give you strategies for managing or preventing it.
That's incredibly reassuring. Okay, moving on to another mysterious yet vital part of our sleep. Dreams. This segment is all about the functional role of dreaming in our emotional well-being. You're saying dreams, especially during REM sleep, aren't just random stories.
Not at all. They're an active, vital part of your brain's emotional processing and memory consolidation system.
Really?
Indeed. While you can dream in NREM sleep, those emotional and perceptually vivid contents are more frequent when people are woken up from REM sleep. REM sleep plays a pivotal role in processing salient and emotional waking life experiences, and it strongly contributes to emotional memory consolidation. It's like our brain's nightly emotional lab.
So our brain is actively working on our emotions while we dream. That's incredible. How does it manage that? What parts are involved?
Well, neuroimaging studies show that the brain processes regulating dreaming and handling emotional importance during sleep share similar neural substrates with how we control emotions when we're awake.
Okay.
Key brain regions involved include the medial prefrontal cortex, the MPFC, that's linked to how we represent thoughts, appraise emotions, deal with social emotions.
Right.
And its interactions with the amygdala and hippocampus are crucial. Those areas are key for emotional control and processing potentially traumatic memories.
And are there specific brainwave patterns linked to this emotional work during dreams?
Yes, there's compelling evidence suggesting that frontal theta activity, these are 5-7 hertz oscillations during REM sleep, is a key EEG marker for these emotional processes.
And what does that theta activity do?
It's associated to a remarkable consolidation benefit for emotional memories. And it also correlates with how much our dreams actually incorporate recent waking life experiences.
This sounds almost like overnight therapy.
That's an excellent way to put it, actually. Dreams can literally help diffuse emotional traumatic memories and reduce the negative charge of difficult experiences, especially when our normal emotional regulation might be compromised during the day.
How do they do that?
Well, dreams provide a sort of simulation of reality. They offer a chance to create new scenarios with emotional mastery elements to help us cope with difficult or upsetting stuff.
Interesting.
Sometimes the brain even inserts bizarre items into dreams, seemingly to lessen the negative emotional charge of an experience. It's a fascinating coping mechanism.
What about nightmares then? Are they also part of this process, or are they more like a breakdown of it?
Nightmares are often dreams with vivid images and negative emotions associated with traumatic events. They're very common in conditions like PTSD.
Okay.
They seem to be linked to disrupted REM sleep and dysfunctional brain circuits involved in emotion regulation.
Can anything help with nightmares?
What's promising is that promoting the rehearsal of frightening contents, essentially, learning to change the nightmare within the dream is a method used to treat them. And lucid dreams.
Where you know you're dreaming.
Exactly. Lucid dreams are associated with an attenuation of nightmares, meaning becoming lucid can significantly reduce their intensity and frequency.
Fascinating. So, for the listener, what's the key takeaway? How should we view our own dreams based on this?
I think this insight can really transform how you view your dreams. Instead of just dismissing them as random, meaningless fluff, recognize them as your brain's active, nightly effort. It's processing your day's emotional landscape, consolidating memories, and working hard to maintain your psychological well-being. Your dreams are truly working for you, performing essential emotional labor while you rest.
Okay, so in all this fascinating science, the deep sleep, the light, the weird patterns, the dreams, the big question is, how do we actually apply this? How do we get better sleep? Which brings us perfectly to our final segment, your blueprint for better sleep, focusing on practical sleep hygiene tips. The core idea here is pretty simple. Good sleep is a cultivated habit.
Yeah, and a few consistent practices can make a really significant difference. Sleep hygiene is just the term for these good sleep habits, and there's considerable research supporting them.
And they offer long-term solutions, right? Not just a quick fix.
Exactly. Often more effective in the long run than short-term medications for many people.
Okay, let's get right into some actionable strategies. What's tip number 1?
First, get regular. This is probably the most important one. Go to bed and wake up at more or less the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends.
Even on weekends.
You know, it's tough. But this isn't just about routine. It's how you reinforce the timing of your internal circadian clock. You make it easier for your body to expect sleep and wakefulness at consistent times.
Okay. And don't force it if you're just lying there wide awake.
Exactly. Tip 2, sleep when sleepy. Only try to sleep when you genuinely feel tired or sleepy. Lying awake in bed, stressing about not sleeping, just creates anxiety around sleep.
Makes sense. So what if I am lying there, maybe 20 minutes gone by and nothing's happening?
Then get up and try again, leave the bed, do something calming or boring, read a dull book, maybe some light stretching in dim light until you feel sleepy again, then go back to bed.
And crucially, avoid.
Avoid stimulating activities. No bright screens, no exciting TV shows, no stressful work emails.
Right. Speaking of things that disrupt sleep, let's talk stimulants and depressants. Caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. How late is too late?
Yeah, vital to avoid stimulants and alcohol close to bed. Steer clear of caffeine, coffee, tea, cola, chocolate, and nicotine for at least 4 to 6 hours before going to bed.
4 to 6 hours. Okay.
These are stimulants. They directly interfere with your body's ability to wind down, and while alcohol might feel relaxing initially,
It knocks you out faster sometimes.
it might seem like it helps you fall asleep, but it seriously interrupts the quality of sleep later in the night, leading to more fragmented sleep. So avoid alcohol for at least 4 to 6 hours before going to bed as well.
Okay, good rule of thumb. This next one seems intuitive. Associating your bed only with sleep.
Bed is for slipping and sex.
Yeah.
That's the mantra. Create a strong, clear mental association. Avoid using your bed for watching TV, eating, working, scrolling on your phone.
Guilty.
We all are sometimes, but those activities can confuse your brain about the bed's primary purpose, which should be rest.
Okay. Naps. Always a tricky one, good or bad.
Mind your naps. Generally, it's best to avoid taking naps during the day if you're having trouble sleeping at night, just to ensure you build up enough sleep pressure for bedtime.
But if you really need one.
If you absolutely must nap, keep it short, less than an hour, and do it before 3 p.m. Otherwise, it's likely to interfere with your nighttime sleep drive.
Got it. I like the idea of a pre-sleep routine, a sort of wind-down ritual.
Yes, sleep rituals are great. Develop a calming routine before bed. Maybe some relaxing stretches, deep breathing exercises, listening to calm music, taking a warm bath.
Fun.
Or even just having a cup of caffeine-free tea. These things signal to your body that it's time to transition from the demands of the day to rest.
And the bath itself has a physiological benefit, too.
Yes, a hot bath 1 to 2 hours before bedtime can raise your body temperature. Then, as your body naturally cools down afterward, that cooling process helps trigger sleepiness. It's harnessing a natural process.
Clever. What about waking up in the middle of the night and doing the dreaded clock check?
Resist. No clock watching. Seriously, try to resist the urge to check the clock. It often just wakes you up more, triggers anxiety about how little time is left, and reinforces negative thoughts about not sleeping, making it even harder to drift back off. Turn the clock away if you have to.
Good tip. Exercise is important, we know that, but timing matters here too, right?
Definitely. Exercise wisely. Regular exercise is fantastic for sleep and overall health, but avoid strenuous activity in the 4 hours before bedtime.
Why is that?
It can be too alerting, raises your core body temperature right when it should be dropping. Earlier in the day is generally better. Those morning walks we mentioned, highly recommended for both sleep and mood benefits.
Perfect. And finally, diet. Does what we eat close to bedtime matter?
Eat right. A healthy, balanced diet is fundamental for everything, including sleep. Avoid going to bed with an empty stomach. Hunger pangs can wake you. But also avoid a heavy meal right before bed, as digestion can interfere with sleep.
So a light snack is okay?
A light snack is fine. A warm glass of milk, for instance, contains tryptophan, an amino acid that's a precursor to serotonin and melatonin, which can potentially aid sleep.
Okay. And the actual sleep environment itself, that's got to be key.
Absolutely. The right space. Make sure your bedroom is quiet and comfortable. A cooler room temperature is generally better for sleep. Have sufficient blankets so you're warm enough. Use dark curtains or an eye mask to block out light. Earplugs if noise is an issue. Create an optimal sleep sanctuary.
And let's say you do have a rough night. What's the advice for the next day? Don't just lounge around.
Right. Try to maintain your daytime routine. Even after a bad night's sleep, try to get up at your usual time and keep your daytime activities relatively the same. This helps avoid reinforcing insomnia patterns.
Got it. And all these practices, they tie back into what we discussed earlier.
Exactly. They directly support those foundational principles of getting enough deep sleep restoration and maintaining healthy circadian rhythms that we've explored throughout this whole deep dive.
Well, we have truly taken a deep dive today. We've uncovered how deep sleep restores your brain for learning, how light acts as this powerful orchestrator of our biological rhythms and mood.
Explored the surprising and often harsh realities of trying polyphasic sleep.
Found practical strategies for navigating unsettling sleep paralysis. And really understood the profound, almost therapeutic role our dreams play in emotional well-being.
It's just so clear that sleep is not a passive state at all. It's an active, essential partner in your daily functioning, your learning, your emotional resilience. It really underpins almost everything you do.
Making it such a powerful tool for your overall performance and well-being.
Absolutely.
So considering how much our waking lives demand from us, maybe the provocative thought for you today is, what one intentional change will you make to honor your sleep tonight now that you truly understand the profound impact it has on literally everything you do?
Something to think about. Prioritize that precious productive time.